You are 50 years old, and right now you are awake at 5:30 a.m., not for you, but because your aging parent needs help getting to the bathroom. You also have to rush your teenager to school, only to field a call from your mom's doctor during your lunch break. And by 8 p.m., after helping with homework, cooking dinner, and sorting medical bills, and caring for everyone else, you feel exhausted, resentful, and finally realize you haven't had 5 minutes for yourself in months. If that sounds familiar, know that this constant pull between generations has a name, and if you're feeling it, you are not just tired. You are experiencing sandwich generation stress. And it's not just being ruthlessly busy. It's depleting. Today we're going to explore why this season feels so impossible, what's actually happening to your nervous system, and how ancient wisdom combined with modern psychology can help you survive this without losing yourself completely. Stay with me. You're not selfish for feeling overwhelmed. You're human. If this speaks to you, subscribe. Every week, we talk about the real struggles of midlife and how to navigate them with clarity and strength. 1. The invisible weight of double caregiving. Caregiving at 50 isn't like caregiving at 30. You're not just helping people you love. You're doing it with a tired body, a mind that's full, and emotions that have been deferred for decades. Your parents need you in ways that feel urgent and heartbreaking. Your children need you in ways that feel confusing because they're adults now, but not quite independent. And you're standing in the middle, trying to hold everyone up while your own foundation cracks. The sandwich generation isn't just a demographic term. It's a nervous system reality. Neuroscience proves that chronic caregiving activates your stress response in waves throughout the day. Every phone call, every decision, every moment of worry. Your body never fully relaxes because there's always someone who might need you. This isn't burnout from working too hard. This is depletion from being needed too much for too long by too many people. 2. Why you feel guilty for being tired. Here's the terrible paradox. You love these people, no lies. You want to help them, but you also feel trapped, and then you feel guilty for feeling trapped. Society tells you that caring for family is noble, selfless, sacred. So when you're resentful or exhausted, you assume something is wrong with you. But nothing is wrong with you. The Stoics understood this tension. Epictetus taught that we suffer most when we confuse duty with self-abandonment. Caring for others is meaningful, but erasing yourself in the process isn't a virtue. It's self-betrayal. The guilt you feel isn't a moral failing. It's your soul telling you that you've crossed a line you didn't know existed. You're allowed to be tired. You're allowed to want your life back. That doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. 3. The myth of the endless well. You've probably heard people say, you can't pour from an empty cup. But here's what they don't tell you. Your cup isn't just empty. You've been pouring from it for years, hoping it would refill on its own, and it hasn't. Because self-care isn't a bubble bath or a yoga class when you're this depleted. It's structural. It's boundaries. It's saying no. It's letting people be disappointed in you so you can survive. Psychology calls this compassion fatigue. When you care deeply for others while neglecting your own needs, your capacity for empathy doesn't just shrink, it shuts down. You become numb, irritable, resentful. Not because you're a bad person, but because your nervous system is protecting you from complete collapse. If you've been snapping at people you love or feeling nothing when you used to feel everything, this is why. You're not broken. You're simply overwhelmed. Before, the ancient practice of sacred refusal. In Eastern philosophy, there's a concept called wu wei, meaning effortless action. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means stopping the fight against reality. You cannot be everything to everyone. You cannot fix your parents' aging. You cannot save your adult children from their own lessons. And the energy you're spending trying to control outcomes you can't control is the same energy that could be sustaining you. Sacred refusal is the practice of saying, I cannot do this. This is not because I don't care, but because I do. I care enough to tell the truth. I care enough to protect my capacity to keep showing up. Just start small, no matter how small, by saying no to one request this week, letting one phone call go to voicemail, or delegating one task you've been doing alone. These aren't acts of abandonment, they're acts of survival. And survival isn't selfish when you discover you're drowning. Pause for a moment. How long has it been since someone asked how you're doing? Not as a caregiver, not as a parent or a child, but as a person who truly cares about your overall well-being. You matter too. Not for what you do for others, but for the fact that you exist. 5. The biblical principle of rest as resistance. Ancient texts speak about rest not as laziness, but as sacred resistance. The idea of Sabbath wasn't just about worship. It was about refusing to let productivity define your worth. In a culture that glorifies busyness and self-sacrifice, rest becomes an act of defiance. It says, my value doesn't come from how much I can endure. You don't need permission to rest. But if you're waiting for it, here it is. Rest isn't something you earn after everything is done, because in caregiving, everything is never done. Rest is something you claim before you collapse. 10 minutes of silence, a walk with no destination, turning off your phone for an hour. These aren't luxuries, they're survival tools, and you're allowed to use them. 6. Building a circle, not carrying a mountain. Habit science teaches us that sustainable caregiving has nothing to do with doing more and everything to do with doing what you're doing differently. You don't need to be stronger. You need support, real support. You don't need people who say, let me know if you need anything, but people you can call at 2 a.m. when your parent falls or your child has a crisis. This requires something uncomfortable, asking for help. Start with one person, such as a sibling, a friend, or a neighbor, and be specific. Can you take mom to her appointment on Thursday? Can you watch the kids on Saturday so I can breathe? Most people want to help but don't know how. When you ask clearly, you allow them to show up, and you permit yourself to stop carrying everything alone. 7. Your life still belongs to you. Here's the truth most people aren't bold enough to say out loud. This season will end. Your parents won't need you forever. Your children will eventually stand on their own. And when that day comes, you'll look around and ask, who am I now? What did I give up? What's left of me? The Stoics believe that the only thing we truly own is our inner life. Your choices, your boundaries, your peace. You can't control aging. You can't control your children's paths. But you can decide how much of yourself you're willing to lose in the process of helping them. Caregiving doesn't require martyrdom. It requires presence. And you can't be present if you've disappeared. Conclusion. Caregiving at 50 is one of the hardest things you'll ever do, but it doesn't have to cost you everything. You can love your people and still have your life to live. You can help without disappearing, and you can set boundaries without guilt. We didn't promise you that these 7 principles would make caregiving easy, but they'll help you survive it without losing yourself completely. I want to hear from you. If you're in the sandwich generation right now, what's the hardest part? What do you need most? Share in the comments. You're not alone in this. If this video helped, subscribe for more practical wisdom on navigating midlife crisis, and be part of those helping this channel to grow. Hit the like button. Turn on notifications so YouTube notifies you when we upload a new video. We're building a community of people who refuse to disappear while caring for everyone else. Thank you dearly for watching.